Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Jerry Sansing with another edition of What's Going On in Corpus Christi, Texas. It's Taxpayers Association show. I'm going to take a little road trip here in a minute after I show you what you get as a taxpayer around here. You're always getting stuck holding the bag. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you that right quick. I hope it doesn't disgust you as much as it disgusts other people, but it does tell the story. Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that tells the story of what taxpayers get around here when they get stuck holding the bag. Got a lot to talk about and so forth and so on. My email address is gsansing@gmail.com. So let me know if I can be of any assistance and if you had anything good to say. Back later. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here's another fine mess we got here in the alley and behind my house. In my neighbor's yard, there was a sewage blockage here, so they had to dig up half the street, and this is the paved job that we got back. This has been the last couple of weeks that this has happened, and you can see there's a chug hole over there that's at least 8, maybe 10 inches deep. They did replace a little piece of a sidewalk, or I mean the driveway over there. They didn't bother to clean up any of this mud and mess and so forth before they left. You can see what's here on my side of it. That's my neighbor's garage. And then I don't know what they were doing over here, scratching up my concrete all over the place, but the thing's a mess, and I'm going to go ahead and pan around. I'm going to need to call them and see if they'll come back and attempt to get the right thing done for a change. And then I'm going to go over here, and this curb's been like this forever. You can see that piece of concrete there has been sticking up. Somebody's going to hit it one of these days with the tire and bust that all up. And you know, this city just doesn't care. And then here's Mr. McComb going to go ahead and annex another 8,000 acres out in London and over in San Pat County. Why don't you take a drive around, Mr. McComb, and see what you got faced with over here first, before you go out and spend a whole bunch of money doing other things. I'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a shot here of the grounds in the little courtroom back here, and they did a very, very nice job on getting these hedges done around here for a change, and that looks good. They thinned some of this mess out over here, and I think they even cleaned up some of the pigeon stuff off of these chairs out here. But anyway, it looks a lot better out here, and I think what happened is we got rid of that professional quote-unquote company that was supposed to be out here doing the right thing and, you know, paying them a fortune. So I must admit it looks real good out here, and show you another piece of the campus. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out in front of the Coles building over here on the East Campus of Del Mar College, and I just complimented people on the hedge job they did over there. These were a couple of days ago very large, lush oleanders, and you can see the color of that. It was just solid blooms along here. And then a crowd came in here and I guess got overzealous. I don't know. I'd much rather see a bunch of blooms and so forth on the oleander rather than have everything cut and nothing but stems over here. And I'll see if I can maybe zoom in on the color of that. These were absolutely gorgeous. They were just, you know, 3 times that tall. But anyway, you can't have it all, I guess. And welcome to Del Mar College. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how well this will show, but this is typical. This is Coles building on East Campus. And I don't know if you can see with that bright light there, but we've got a moldy ceiling tile there. They've got a leak up there, which is real fine right next to an electrical outlet. And then I don't know why that other one's ajar. Maybe somebody has taken a look at it, but it's been like this for a while. And you know, you can walk through these buildings and see water stains on the ceilings and so forth. And I just, you know, I'm not real happy with that. So I'll talk to you later. I'm still in the Coles building, folks, and all the hallways are carpeted, and they get these big stains in them that last forever. And I know I'm being picky, but you know, we're going to have to fix this place up one of these days. I use the term deferred maintenance college for DMC, Del Mar College, but you know, I'm as popular as whatever around here anyway, so I may as well keep it up. But this is a taxpayer's nightmare, folks, and since I'm the president of the Taxpayers Association and a long-time 30-year employee at Del Mar College, I get a little bit upset with this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me serenade you with this bad fan out here. This is a $250,000 greenhouse that's outside of the St. Clair, not St. Clair, but Garcia Science Building. It's been vacant for months and months and months, and why we have to cool it down, I'm not sure, by running a fan and wasting all of this electricity, and then wait for it to bearings to go totally out and burn the place up. So anyway, you know, I guess I'm just too picky, but I'm getting real weary of all this deferred maintenance and people just not caring and you know, spending money, and now we're putting up new buildings that we're not going to be able to take care of. So we'll talk to you when I can. I'm going to keep going. Okay, I've moved into the greenhouse here. The only thing that's growing is, you see that little weed down there on the ground, and that's usually where that one grows until it dies off for lack of water and so forth, and the temperature gets it. And then here's that fan that's making so much noise, and you can see that we've got flowers and stuff and plants growing everywhere in this place, so that we can justify this $250,000 that just sits here and does nothing but eat up electricity with fans going and so forth and so on. And you know, it needs to be addressed, ladies and gentlemen. So call your regent and let's see if we can get some of this stuff resolved one of these years. Okay, I'm still at the Garcia Science Building, folks, and what I'm going to do is, here's the little button for the handicap door. The handicap door is right in front of you. It's covered up with a bunch of plant material that you know, we've asked to have that moved before. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to push this and hold it down, and it has a little movement in it, but it won't come open. So I don't know what to do about that. I hate to get Del Mar in trouble with the ADA and so forth and so on, but you know, all I can say is darn, it won't open up. So help me out, call your regent, let's get this stuff moving. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the day after I started filming this. This is on the 10th of May, and after the rains you can see how well this stuff drains, and I went out and checked the consistency of the whatever they've attempted to fill this hole in with, and it's half of it. You can you know, take a sharp object and push it apart. So I don't know where they got that garbage, but this is how much this current politicians, or group of politicians, care about the citizens and taxpayers of Corpus Christi, Texas. They think we're a bunch of idiots and fools, and what they do is they just go ahead and say, oh, you know, woe is me, we're just so interested in your welfare because you're paying for all this, and then they turn around and totally ignore you. So I'm going to see how long it's going to take to get this thing fixed. This is an abomination. It's despicable, and so forth and so on. And maybe they'll take care of that curb over here that's sticking up, that's going to rupture tires and everything else, because one of the workers was too damn lazy just to level it back out. Anyway, I've had my piece with this one. I'm going to continue on going around town in Del Mar, and I'm going to show you some real nasty streets and have a few words to say about the assessor down here, the tax assessor, appraiser, and so forth. Anyway, take a good look. This could be your backyard. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm over on Ohio Street, and the camera is rolling. This is a spot that you can see the chug holes. I decided I'd get it after the rains and so forth and so on, but there's deep chug holes all over the place, as you can see, and then this water never drains worth a toot. And these neighbors over here are going crazy. I just talked to the son-in-law and so forth of the person that owns the house right to my left here. But if you can see this mess up, I did knock the camera over. I'm sitting on top on a soft ground here. But you can see that this is constant. I drive this street every day on my way over to Delmar, and I'm getting sick and tired of it, and it's flooded like this most of the time if we'd have any kind of rain at all. Now what bugs me about this whole deal is the appraisers here in the county and so forth, appraisers say that they don't take into account when they appraise a home with this garbage out here. And here comes a truck. I'll just go ahead and film it, and you can see how much fun it is to try to get down the street. Okay, now I guess he's gonna go the other way, I'm not sure. Anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and film this and let you know that I really do not appreciate it when people can't get stuff done with the city, county, and so forth and so on, and their appraisals are high. And you know, you need to go ahead and put this into the fray in addition to. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down and go back to the studio and raise a little cane. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's what that chug hole out the back of it here looks like with the water going. Just thought I'd show it to you. I have called it into the city. They said they'd take care of it. We'll just see about how long it takes. But, you know, I don't know why they'd leave a job like that, but I drove down Ocean Drive today too, and I don't know why that thing is in such a mess except total neglect. Anyway, maybe one day we'll get a few things done around here that make sense, and we can be proud of this city again instead of thinking it's a third world country over here. But that's a mess, and just thought I'd show it to you without the water in it. It's been a day or two since then, and it dries up pretty quick. Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I called in about 3 or 4 days ago and reported this big hole out here after they had done some sewer work over here, sewer pipes, and I guess they filled it this morning, and I wanted to show you this. That's not bad timing to get things done, you know, 3 or 4 days, but I don't know what in the world they put in here to begin with. It's not asphalt. It's looks like loose gravel, maybe a little bit of tar in it some way or another, and you can already see that when the trucks came through this morning, the garbage trucks, it's already rutted real well. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten up on it, and you know, I'm astounded at what happens around this town when it comes to doing things in a timely manner, number one, and then doing it right. And you know, I showed you Ohio Street over there. Those craters are still sitting there uncovered as far as I know. I'm going to go over and use that road today. But you know, this is as far as I'm concerned, ridiculous. And then if you look at the mud and debris and so forth that they left here that I'm going to have to clean up, and my neighbor over there across the alley here is going to have to clean up, is just incredible. But you know, so be it. Life in Corpus Christi, Texas, and you know, we can go down there and play God down there at the city council meetings and everything else, and annex 7,000-8,000 acres of land and have all these wonderful deals, but we can't take care of a simple pole in the thing. And I can't blame the city workers for this, folks. They're at the mercy of their directors over there. That you know, they should know better than this, is all I can say. You know, I've been a chemist a long time in my life, and I know you can't fill up a hole with loose gravel. That isn't going to work. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the studio, and I'll talk to you some more. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back from field trips and so forth and so on. The lights are on, camera's rolling. So I'm going to take my seat here, and we'll discuss a few things I believe are of importance in Delmar College, the city, and the state, and so forth and so on. This is what's going on in Corpus Christi. I started this on May the 9th, and that's about a week ago. I've been on a road trip, as you saw, to Delmar and some of the streets around here and so forth. So we've got new times coming up for this show on June the 2nd. So I'll go ahead and preach the times for that. This show would be Monday at 7:30 p.m., Wednesday at 8:30 p.m., and so forth. The South Texas News and Reviews will be Wednesday at 9 p.m., Thursday at 8 p.m., and then we've got the Voice of Ed Bennett on Sunday at 2 o'clock, and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Okay. Now we've also going to have the channels on this show is on the Grande channel 10. What am I trying to say? Okay, it's the open channel, public access television, channel 10 on Grande. It's channel 1303 on Spectrum. It's channel 99 on AT&T. Now we've had a problem. There was a dual public access television. There's one on channel 18, which was the Grande channel, and then Spectrum was 1304, and channel 99 on AT&T. And what we've done is we're going to air these shows on channel 18 in addition to 10, and those are going to be in the morning time, most of those. So this one is going to be Monday morning at 10:30, and then Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. And then what we've got is noon on Wednesday for South Texas News and Reviews, Thursday at 11 a.m., and then the Voice of Ed Bennett's going to be Sunday at noon, and then again Wednesday at 9 a.m. That's channel 18. And I gave you the other things. Spectrum 1303 is channel 10 on Grande, which is channel 99 on AT&T. If you've got Spectrum and you want to watch the channel 18 broadcast, that's 1304 on Spectrum, channel 18 on Grande, and again channel 99 on AT&T. And those are beginning on June the 2nd, which is coming up soon. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my guy Pinocchio back up here. We get a lot of this from our local politicians. Noses grow frequently down there. I need to go get a new chainsaw to carve it back every day as these things grow. So then we'll see what happens. Now I'll explain that hole in the back of my alleyway that I filmed on several occasions over this week with water in it and without. It was done a couple of weeks ago. My neighbor across the alleyway there had a problem with the sewer line, and unfortunately, in order to get to the main sewer line, they had to trench all the way across the alleyway over there, right up to next to my driveway. Then when they filled it in, I don't know what they were using with that. It just looks like it could have been just beach sand with a little pebbles in it, but it was not much, and no substance there. But there developed a gaping hole. So I called this past Monday, okay, today's Thursday, and I talked to a very nice young lady, and she said she'd have them go take a look at it and fix it as soon as possible. So I figured, well, here we are about Christmas time, and much to my amazement, within 3 or 4 days, they have come out and put some type of a substance in there. I'm not real sure what it is. Now, I try not to get salty with people that answer the phone down there. They don't need that from me or anybody else, but I know a lot of people just raise unmitigated hell with them and frustration. Now, I blame the city manager and so forth for all the problems that we have trying to get things done around here. The buck stops on that desk, and then if you really want to know who holds a bunch of stuff up, then it's that city council, okay? And ultimately the mayor should be taking care of business around here. I doubt that he drives around many of these streets and so forth and so on looking. I think that with his transfer company, he should be getting a lot of reports back from his people that are delivering things here and there. But I never know what these slick politicians are doing. Okay, they tell you one thing and come up with something else. And then I can't blame the people who put that, what I consider substandard stuff in that hole. The garbage trucks came down the alley today and have already put a big groove in that new patch that they put in earlier this morning. And I can't blame those crews, because it's the head of those crews, the directors and so forth, that should be making sure that the materials they use are sufficient and that they've got what they need to do a good job. So, I'm not on the backs of all the workers down there. It's just the people that are sitting behind desks directing that mess. They need to be out observing and finding out what's truly going on around here in the neighborhood, so to speak. Okay. Now we've got Mr. Ronnie Canales, who's our appraiser around here for the county and so forth and so on. And we've got I've got a real problem with him appraising houses and so forth and so on, as this is the one I showed you over there on Ohio Street. I didn't show you the house, but the street in front of it is a mess, and it's only gotten worse. It's big craters over there now. You have to slow down to about 2 miles an hour to get through it, or you take the whole front end out of your car. But what he does is he's made the statement in the past that when they appraise a house, they don't take into consideration the condition of the street. Now, if you're going to put one up for sale and you've got nothing but a lake and craters in your front yard, and you can hear vehicles at night, you know, banging around with the front ends rattling and so forth and so on, and tires blowing out, then that does reduce the ability of that homeowner to sell that house, which means that the valuation is not what the county and so forth puts the valuation at. Okay? So I have a real tough time with that. Now here we've got an article on the 7th of this month in the Caller Times, and it says, tax break for disasters. Lawmakers consider bill to challenge property tax, which means if you have a destruction there, you know, and a disaster like the hurricanes that hit us, Harvey, then I don't think that the evaluation, or the valuations is the proper term, in the real estate business. I was a broker for a long time and did a lot of predominantly sales of commercial property when I was also consulting with the industrial research people. But anyway, so I know I've taken courses in appraisal and so forth and so on. Now it says here in the byline, this was written, let's see who wrote this. Associated Press. I guess it's not one of our local reporters. But it says, nothing makes home and business owners madder than paying full property taxes on a damaged or destroyed property. And that was from Senator Paul Bettencourt. Okay? And I think he's, no, this was by Tom Whitehurst, and analysis by him. So, you know, Mr. Canales, I wish you'd go back and drive around these streets. And, you know, I see the appraisal cars every once in a while poking around and so forth and so on. And I wish you'd take that into consideration, because those people over there on Ohio Street that have the lake when it rains and big craters in the street out there don't need to be paying full taxes on that. And especially in the face of, if you're going to have some of these Texas legislators and so forth wanting to give people a tax break for disasters, I think that's only fair in this lifetime. Okay? That's just my personal opinion on the thing. Then, speaking of tax breaks, here was an article that came out on the 5th of this month in the Caller Times. It says, what's the Valero refinery worth? What's your stake? And this again was Tom Whitehurst. Okay? Now, what he did was he wrote this article about Valero, okay, and he ended it up by saying, you know, what's at stake? Now, if Valero doesn't pay what the appraised value is, the taxes on the appraised value, and they just keep, you know, filing lawsuits against the appraisal district and so forth, saying we're not worth that much, and they're, you know, raking in millions and millions and maybe billions of dollars a year in profits and so forth, then I don't know why they can't pay their fair share. Okay? So it does say here, you know, well, what's at stake with this? And then, you know, it's followed up in here with a tagline a little bit later. I may have put that with this other one. Probably did. But anyway. So, you know, what's it really worth? And then the Canales is involved with this too. Okay? Now, so what will happen is, and then, you know, we've got all these politicians around here with all these school districts and college districts and this district and that district that are falling all over themselves when a big company says they're going to come in and build this enormous thing and make us wealthy here as citizens of Corpus Christi, Texas. And then what they do is they are given tax abatements to get things going, and then what they do is when the taxes due, after the abatements are over with, then what do? They sue the taxing entities and say we're not worth that much. Okay, so you know I'm tired of people that are running around here and saying that you know, we're poor, we're not worth that much money, but we're going to do you a good turn as we pollute your neighborhoods and so forth and so on. It's you know, until you taxpayers out there and voters get serious and go over there and kick a few fannies, then you know, we're going to have this problem. And look out over in Ingleside, Portland, and Gregory area with all that stuff that's going in over there, folks. They're going to go in there and pollute the stuffings out of you, as voestalpine has done. And then when it comes tax time, after the abatement time is over with, and they're raking in big profits, they're going to sue you because we don't have enough money to fight those lawsuits, so they're going to punish you with that. So if you think these large corporations that are out to make money are a friend of the common citizen and taxpayer in this area, I've got a hot flash for you. You know, you just don't know what you're talking about. Now, I could go on for days. I'm running out of time for a little bit. Okay? And then I'm just going to say that the House, this is the Texas House, representatives and so forth, is going to tie the property tax relief to school finance. So what they want to do is up the state tax rate and then drop the property taxes for you, and you know, that way they can get schools done and so forth. So it's a mess, folks. And when you see a politician getting involved in this, I've got a hot flash for you. You've got a real problem. Now I'm winding down to about 2 minutes, so you know, I'll just keep going. And then another thing that we need to do is there was Tom Whitehurst again has been on everybody's back for a change. And this was a May the 1st article in the Caller Times. It says 3 annexation hearings, nothing is heard. And what we're trying to do is our great city leaders down there, the city council people, are going to try to annex 7,000 some odd acres over there in Portland to try to rake in a bunch of money for, they say, the taxpayers. It's for their own good. And I'm investigating a few things to blow the lid off of how these elected officials sometimes will get involved in making money with, you know, all of the deals that they make, which are supposed to enhance you as a taxpayer and make your life a lot easier. Delmar does it, city does it, county does it, and so forth and so on, the state. CCISD. So I've been investigating a few things, and I'll give you a report on that at a later date. And then I'm just going to say that I'm terribly disappointed with the administration at Delmar College. They have become anti-faculty. Shared governance is a thing that should happen. That's when faculty has a right and a voice in how the school is run and what the policies are going to be and so forth, but that is gone at Delmar College. Okay, and I'm going to follow up on that one. I just wanted to take the field trip and show you some of the problems we've got around here with the infrastructure and so forth and so on. So I've got about 20 seconds left according to my calculations. So I'm going to go around and extinguish the lights, and then I'll come back for a couple of seconds and fill you in on a few things and then shut up. Okay, folks, I don't know how much time I've got left here, and I hope it's not cut off. I just wanted to see the magnificent magnolias. They're in full bloom around town now, and I just wanted to share that with you. And they've got a fantastic odor to them. A lot of people don't like it, but I grew up in South Georgia around magnolias, and Alabama and Texas and so forth, so I really love it. But enjoy those, and I'll see you next week. Okay, folks, I don't know how much time I've got left here, and I hope it's not cut off. I just wanted to see the magnificent magnolias. They're in full bloom around town now, and I just wanted to share that with you. And they've got a fantastic odor to them. A lot of people don't like it, but I grew up in South Georgia around magnolias, and Alabama and Texas and so forth, so I really love it. But enjoy those, and I'll see you next week.